Imagine an entire AI software team living silently on your laptop. They're sitting completely still in a single folder. They're just waiting for your instructions.
Yeah, it's like a pretty wild premise.
It really is. That's the idea behind Google Antigravity 2.0. It's a tool attempting to kill the intimidation factor of coding entirely. Welcome to today's deep dive.
Thanks. We've got some fascinating stuff to cover today.
We really do. Today we're exploring how Antigravity 2.0 compares to heavyweights like Claude Code and Codex.
Right, and we're going to walk through building a premium biohacking website from scratch, too.
Exactly. We'll also see how this tool acts as a background digital employee. And finally, we'll unpack the real catch behind its free price tag.
Because there's always a catch, right?
Oh, always. But to understand why Antigravity 2.0 matters, we first need to look back. We need to see how Google is trying to solve the intimidation factor of AI coding.
Google was definitely late to the AI coding race. They're aggressively trying to catch up right now, and they're doing it by making the first step completely free.
Okay, let's unpack this. For the last 2 years, builders basically had two main choices.
Yeah, you either used Claude Code for strong coding agents, or you used Codex.
Right, Codex, which meant you were tied to OpenAI's paid ecosystem. Google's Gemini existed in the background, sure.
But nobody was opening it first to actually build complex products. I mean, Claude Code requires a ton of manual setup. You have to actively guide the agents through the workflow yourself.
You essentially become a highly technical project manager.
Exactly. Antigravity 2.0 flips that entire dynamic. It starts with a clean chat box instead of a scary code editor.
Using older tools is like micromanaging a single worker line by line. Anti-gravity is like stacking Lego blocks of data. You get an automated general contractor who brings their own crew.
That's a great analogy. It automatically splits tasks across parallel agents.
So you have one for front-end, one for back-end, one for debugging.
Yep, and research too. They all run on Gemini 3.5 Flash, so it generates fast. I mean, it's...
Right, and I have to admit, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself. When the AI slowly forgets your original instructions.
Oh, we all do. It gets incredibly messy.
Yeah, so not needing to manually plan every single step is a massive relief. But do these large parallel agent demos actually guarantee faster speed for every project?
Well, you definitely have to read the fine print there. Simple HTML sites will fly out of the gate, but complex database structures still take measured, careful time. It's an early performance claim, not a guarantee.
So treat those speed claims as early potential, not absolute project guarantees.
Perfectly said. I'd call it a strong tailwind, not a teleportation device.
Beat. Since the tool removes the intimidating setup, let's look at the workspace. What does the actual sandbox feel like on your machine?
The installation is surprisingly simple. It works natively across Mac, whether Apple Silicon or Intel, plus Windows and Linux.
And once you're inside, the layout is really clean.
Very clean. You have your history, scheduled tasks, and your projects.
Right, those projects are literally just local folders, like you could name one D2C brand.
What's fascinating here is how starting from a familiar folder makes it highly beginner-friendly. All your files and codes stay trapped right there.
So you're not hunting for random scripts in your downloads folder later.
Exactly. Everything lives safely in that specific sandbox.
Then at the bottom, you have the model picker, a simple menu to choose which AI brain powers your agents.
And the variety is impressive. You can use Gemini 3.5 Flash or 3.1 Pro natively.
But you can also hook up Claude Sonnet or Claude Opus, right?
Yeah, or even run GPT OSS for ultimate local privacy. It gives you incredible flexibility.
But what happens if I use those models too much on the free tier?
You're going to hit an invisible wall pretty quickly. They enforce strict usage limits, so you have to check the settings section for your quotas.
You get free access initially, but strict usage limits will eventually cap your work.
Yeah, the buffet definitely has a time limit. 2-sec silence.
Now that we understand the sandbox, let's unleash these agents on a real-world project. Let's walk through building a premium D2C brand website from scratch.
We want something high-end here. So step one is research.
Right, we asked Gemini to find the best 2026 industry.
It came back with options like premium pet wellness and clean ingredient skincare.
But we ultimately chose elite biohacking and recovery.
It's the perfect niche. Step two is giving specific brand direction inside the chat.
We named the brand Ultra Human. The aesthetic had to be tech luxury and very dark.
Then step three is crucial. We feed it the live Ultra Human site to aggressively redesign.
We asked the parallel agents to handle the layout, the CSS styling, and the campaign images.
And step four is where you use the commands. The /goal command acts like a strict project manager, keeping agents aligned.
It constantly checks their work. And the /browser command gives you a live preview, right?
Yeah. Whoa, imagine dozens of agents working at once to build a working cart. Seeing the raw code translate into a physical interface in real time is wild.
The final output is honestly deeply impressive. A massive hero section that says, redesigning human biology.
It has smooth scroll animations and, crucially, a working add-to-cart flow.
That part feels huge. Why is having a working add-to-cart flow such a game changer for freelancers pitching clients?
Because it completely destroys the traditional pitch dynamic. You aren't just showing a static file, you're handing them a link to a working version.
A functional, clickable demo is infinitely more persuasive than a static design pitch.
Absolutely. It just instantly proves the value. 2-sec silence.
Okay, building a site is a one-off event, but maintaining it is where Antigravity tries to become a permanent team member.
This leads us to scheduled tasks. You can set up recurring background jobs.
Like scheduling a website audit for 9 a.m. daily.
Yeah, the AI wakes up, checks what's broken, and analyzes competitors entirely in the background.
Here's where it gets really interesting. This shifts the software from a reactive tool to a proactive digital employee.
Exactly. It leaves a clear report with action steps for your morning review. You could use it for weekly content audits.
But I have to wonder about the output. Does it just point out the problems, or does it actually help fix them?
Oh, it goes way beyond spell checking. It provides clear action steps ready for you to review and implement.
It doesn't just complain about bugs, it hands you the exact repair instruction.
Right, it acts much more like a proactive senior developer.
While background tasks are great for business owners, hardcore developers need something different.
They need tools that fit directly into their existing environments. They don't want to tab over to a desktop app.
So Google built a streamlined version for VS Code. You install it via a CLI command, a text interface where you type direct commands to the computer.
Yep. Once it's installed, you just type AG in the terminal to run it.
Let's say you open that ultra-human project. You ask the terminal to spin up subagents to check the code base.
Antigravity immediately creates specialized roles, like a code integrity auditor to hunt down subtle bugs.
It also fires up a UX reviewer for layout and a mobile tester for responsiveness.
They do their jobs and generate a comprehensive markdown report right in your folder. Then the agents can actually implement those fixes.
If developers already have a polished setup with Claude Code, why bother switching to this?
Well, they get to keep the CLI workflow they already love, but they get Antigravity's agent-first system layered right on top.
It injects automated team delegation straight into the developer's traditional coding environment.
Yes, exactly. It automates all that tedious task management.
This level of integration sounds incredibly expensive, which brings us to the ultimate question. Why is Google giving this away for free?
The free tier makes aggressive strategic sense. Google desperately wants early ecosystem lock-in. They're hoping you adopt Gemini and Google Cloud later.
But there are always catches. First, you have less flexibility to manually switch models for different tasks.
Right. Once you're inside the automated workflow, you're somewhat on rails. You trade control for ease of use.
And rate limits are another massive catch. Those tight early caps mainly benefit paid pro or ultra users.
Plus, long-term pricing for this compute remains completely unpredictable.
So, let's look at the verdict. It's best for beginners avoiding setup stress or entrepreneurs testing ideas.
And freelancers building demos. But it's less ideal for daily power users who need deep control.
So what's the best way for a skeptic to decide if it's worth abandoning their current setup?
You honestly just have to run a stress test yourself. Test it on one real project from start to finish and compare the experience.
Build one complete real-world project and judge the actual friction for yourself.
That's the only way to know for sure.
Let's pause for a moment before we summarize what all of this means for the future of coding. Sponsor for Evan. Let's recap the core of what we've uncovered today. 2-sec silence.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the traditional gap between a raw idea and a live, working prototype is shrinking to zero.
You're replacing a blank code editor with a team of specialized agents.
Exactly. Google Antigravity 2.0 shifts the human role entirely away from syntax. You're moving from being a typist to being a manager.
So what does this all mean? I want to leave you with this final thought to mull over.
It's a big one.
If a solo entrepreneur can now spin up an entire AI software team for free,
Just sitting silently on their laptop.
right, and they build a premium, fully functional e-commerce storefront by 9 a.m., what happens to traditional entry-level coding jobs and agency models over the next few years?
The industry is going to look profoundly different very soon.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Keep exploring, keep building, and keep questioning the tools you use. OUTO Music.